There's one real reason why His Majesty the King has now zero time for someone that he gave a lot of time to, a lot of respect, and some might say unprecedented help in a time of an emergency. We're talking, of course, about King Charles and Meghan Markle. As ever, let me explain. Morning, lovely to see you today on a nice sort of wetty sort of day here in London. So can you see all that sort of damp on that? Doesn't it look nice though, in a sense? It's very historical, isn't it, that sort of stuff? When you think how long that stone's been here, I know that phrase, if walls could talk, eh? Yeah, that's the thing. I think you could say that about anywhere though, couldn't you, to be honest, you know? Always interesting to think about history and what's gone on before. Some people might look back at this particular incident in history, the moment, of course, when His Majesty the King, who was then the Prince of Wales, very kindly, generously walked down a woman he barely knew, down halfway down the aisle at St. George's Chapel in Windsor, seemingly because her father was incapacitated and suddenly she had nobody else. She couldn't call upon a brother, anybody, you know, nobody in the family, right? And as I've told you before in a sort of fuller, longer videos, His Majesty the King, King Charles, you know, the Prince of Wales at the time, was absolutely stunned that she couldn't find anybody else. He was flattered, he offered, and of course, you know, no doubt delighted and thrilled. But the other side of it, that did raise a red flag. Now, what's interesting here in this particular situation is everybody's sort of talking about the broken down relationship between, you know, Queen Camilla, Harry, William, Catherine, and of course, Meghan and Harry. All their own doing, as many people know, made huge mistakes, huge faux pas, all in the name of money. But where it gets interesting here is, not only is His Majesty the King absolutely 100% disappointed in his youngest son, and rightly so for all of the things that he's done, but any parent out there knows that eventually you do relent. But on this instance, he will only relent on this point, you see. According to that source, who I know incredibly well, and many of you know the relationships that I do have with these people, the baffling bit for him was the fact that Meghan Markle, during her short tenure inside the monarchy, never bothered to take up his offer to come and have tea with the king, or indeed, you know, just an informal chat. He never was able to be alone with her. And of course, you know, obviously there will be somebody in the room, but you know what I mean? Now, the thing that he felt very upset about was when he heard about all of these alleged suicidal thoughts and how badly she was treated, the passport taken away, none of this was reiterated to him at that point. And so he did a lot of digging, according to that source, and could find no record of this whatsoever. So clearly he had his suspicions. Naturally, you can understand. And as ever, I have to say, allegedly. But moving forward, this is where it gets really interesting, because the relationship is totally broken down. Not just, of course, with his youngest son, Prince Harry, but with her as well. Now, according to that source, he would be more than willing to have an informal chat with Harry. A very informal, loose chat, but only when he feels up to full strength. As you can imagine, we have to applaud His Majesty the King for his tremendous visit and show of respect out to Germany, Auschwitz. He's going through difficult times, what a lot of people don't realise, with his own cancer treatment, but was determined to be there to show his respect. And, you know, as many people know, with lots of situations around the world, it's very difficult. Now, one might say, well, where does that leave the other two? According to that source, he really has kind of washed his hands of the whole situation, has no time now for Meghan Markle, seemingly because the opportunities afforded to her, he feels that not only was Catherine and William treated appallingly badly by her, but more so, of course, Prince Harry. Now, he knows Prince Harry's sort of setup and mental situation. The other side of the coin is he's just completely thinking, how could he have judged this person so wrong? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.